execution, because Maryland is every bit as good as I thought they were. And I mean, they are really good. And we knew we were going to have to play an outstanding game to beat them, and our guys, to their credit, really stayed true to that. They stayed true to what had to happen. The ball had to move quickly. We had to play through the paint. The couple times that we didn't, we got that adjusted real fast. And we had to make sure it was getting reversed. And the more that we play Colin now away from the post, the better it is, because he can drive the ball for us. And there's just we've got to be able to find different ways inside of the game to get to the basket, to play through the paint, so that we can get to the foul line, not just be a jump shooting team. And we're starting to learn that. But the bottom line is, no matter what we're in, as long as they're moving the ball, they're pretty good. But they're even way better when they're getting defensive stops, so we can get out on our break. And I thought the first half was solid, but we were giving up too much space to their offense, and we weren't nearly as aggressive as we needed to be with ball pressure, with how we wanted to guard. We had to mix and match tonight big time, because we just don't have matchups in this game, and they have too many hard matchups. You know, certainly with the length that they have and the size of the shooters, but the Des Wells matchup is really hard, and because we don't have anybody else like him. So the bottom line is we had to be very active. And a couple times we made mistakes. He picked us apart on that. But in the second half, we adjusted well. And we adjusted in the sense that there was better ball pressure, better weak side defense, and we're just a little bit more active. And we had 18 deflections in the first half, 26 in the second half. To me, that's a big deal. Colin Hartman's mom might know the last time he had 3 block shots, but I'd never seen it. So, certainly we might have to triple his deflections, when Colin's getting a block. But that's just the way we have to be right now. And to their credit, that's what they're doing. That's how they're playing. We came back on Tuesday night. We were really sharp. We were sharp yesterday. The walkthrough today was as quick as I've ever probably had one at Indiana, because they were so ready to go that it was like, if we go much longer, I mean, we're gonna play the game right here. I mean, they were flying around. And they came up, they played that way. They played that way. Their mindset was really, really good. And they knew it. They had great respect. We have great respect for Maryland. They knew it was a big deal. And they wanted to see where they stood. So a lot of really good work. And I think one of the great things, and I'll open up to questions, one of the great things for our team is they spent so much extra time working on their game. And sometimes they're together and sometimes they're not. Okay? We get back on Sunday, and this is why he just continues to improve. We get back on Sunday, bus trip back, we're working late, and I hear the balls bouncing late Sunday night. There's Yogi out shooting on the shooting gun, and late at night. Monday morning, there he is. Okay, we don't practice. Monday afternoon, early evening, late afternoon, there he is. Wednesday, he shot after practice. I hear again he's back in here late last night after, we didn't meet till late last night. He's in there shooting again. That's a hunger level. That's leadership. And that's what we have to continue to get, because Yogi's playing so well for us, but he wanted to play better. Now we got to keep that attitude. We keep that kind of hunger and we keep that kind of desire, then we're going to keep improving. And that's the key. I told them I'm not budging, and they shouldn't budge either, because we have a chance to keep improving, but it's going to come down to our work ethic. It's going to come down to our mindset. Can we continue to get smarter and tougher? And because it's a hard league, and it certainly gets that much harder on Sunday when we go to Ohio State, and then turn around Wednesday and go to Purdue before we come back home for Rutgers. So we're excited about it. We're improving. It's a win on a night we played very well against a great basketball team, and they are the epitome of team. And we had to be that good to beat them tonight. Fortunately, we were, and now we've got to get ourselves ready for Ohio State.
First question,
Mike.
When Hunter went down, a lot of people just assumed you'd plug Emmett in for what he was doing, maybe not be the dynamic, but still be the same kind of team. You went with Colin instead. Can you sort of discuss what went into that decision, how you guys came up with it?
Sure.
What you had to do to build an offense around it?
Well, the biggest thing is right now, I didn't really want to start 3 freshmen. And that's part of it. that day when the injury happened, you know, I was down on one end of the court with Hunter, and you know, the kids were very distraught. The young men were very distraught. You call them kids, but they were very distraught. Well, the coaches got them back going, and Colin just jumped in. And so, I mean, honestly, that's what we would have done, because he can do a lot of different things. What we didn't have much time to do was figure out how we were going to utilize him there. But he's very smart. He's tough. He's a skilled player. As I always remind him, we offered him a scholarship, not for his shooting, but for his ability to play the game, for his passing, for the way he made his teammates better. And to me, as a shooter, that became the next step for him. But he could really pass the ball. And the key for us right now is that he just continued to do those type of things. I mean, he played outstanding tonight. And Max, I thought, did a really good job for us tonight. And so Emmett, it wasn't as much that night, you know, but it's going to have to be in a lot of ways on Sunday, you know, when we go there, because of how big they are. So, but we've also tried to move Emmett to some different positions offensively inside of our practices, and we haven't spent a ton of time on that yet, but that's all part of trying to adjust ourselves so we can make sure we have, you know, so the game's just got to move. So ultimately it comes down to how do we keep the game and the bodies and the ball moving. It's not about any one play or about any one guy. It's about the ball continuing to move, and how do they have to continue to guard the court. So you know when Colin's in at that position, they're going to have to guard him. And tonight they really had to guard him because he got hot. So that's what it was as much as anything else.
Sure. It seemed like every time Maryland made even a little mini run, you guys had an answer tonight. I think you had a double-digit lead the final 10 minutes. But you got to be happy with how your guys were answering. Yeah,
it'll be fun film to watch, because I think we were really, really good in the second half. We were not nearly as active, and what we showed them at halftime was how passive we were on the weak side, and our ball pressure wasn't very good. Again, when you don't have optimal matchups, okay, well, you do have to try to take something away. And the Wells passing game, I thought one of the hugest keys was he had 3 assists at half. He only had 1 in the second half. They only had 5 assists in the second half. That was big, because they are a really, really good passing team. I mean, and a tremendous passing team, because they have you have to guard them so many different places. Well, he makes so many things go, man, in zone. So the bottom line was our defense, even though the 50% says something different, we did get some good defensive stops. And then we came down and we got good shots. You know, we kept moving the ball, and we got jumpers, but it was after the ball had been reversed, driven, you know, the way that we have to play.
I covered football, but I was led to believe that this team didn't have a very high ceiling. You're now tied for first in the Big Ten.
I think you've been paying a little more attention to that. You're multidimensional. High ceiling? I don't know. I mean, I don't think any of us. We're improving. And they've been improving all year. And what these guys have done over a period of time is gone closer, and they really worked hard, I would say, to control what they can control, which is their improvement, which is the extra work, like I was talking about. Practice extremely hard. You know, with a young team, they're going to get better. You know, if they buy in and they have a good work ethic, they're going to get better. And we can't just come down and say, okay, we're a 2-3 zone team, or we're a 1-3-1 team, or we're a man-to-man team. We've got to do different things because of our size, and the size has changed so much more, obviously, because of Hunter not being in. So I think we'll continue to get better as long as our mindset and work ethic continues to improve. We've got to continue to get tougher, and the toughness becomes like the 50-50 balls, and, you know, really working a guy in the post, and when you get tired, continuing to move your feet and have your hands up rather than put your hands in. You know, we got caught a couple times on some weak side cuts tonight. I mean, there's a ton of room for improvement. It's one really good win against a really good team. And what I've liked best about this team is every time we've struggled, they've really responded, and now we've got to keep responding and improve, you know, since we've won a couple games. Go ahead, Mike.
Along that same line, is there a confidence you see from these guys now in the last 3 games that you haven't seen before?
I don't know.
Michigan State, you know, one of those struggles.
You know what really started to turn for us was after Louisville, because we were not good up there. But there were so many. I shouldn't say we were not good. We didn't follow the game plan. You know, we chased Louisville around, you know, and we didn't rebound the way that we needed to. We let them be more aggressive. and more physical with us, and we really didn't push back, fight back, and we got better from that. And then we turned around and we did the same thing at Michigan State, and we got better from that. So I would say their confidence grows because they're responding to, we've had adversity all year we've had to respond to, right? Well, they're responding to the adversity of a game, and so that's big. That they're responding to say, okay, no, wait a minute, I've got to rebound better, I can do better. Because the films are not as much about what we're not doing, it's why didn't we, and here's what we could have done better. And they're responding to that. And so, yes, confidence grows because of that. But the moment that confidence becomes some type of a rival of arrogance, well, then we're going to have an issue. But that's why hopefully we have a deep enough bench. I don't see that coming. But the bottom line is they're young, and they got to keep understanding that the work ethic and the improvement are the absolute keys to everything that they do.
We've talked, I guess, about moments that this team's had where they've gone up big, especially in the second half, and they maybe let teams back in. Tonight, with the foot on the throat, they just kind of kept hitting shots. What was different about tonight and the approach at both ends of the floor once you kind of got Maryland on their heels in the second half?
We understood the pace of the game. When it was time to play fast, we were fast and we attacked. And when it was not there, we reversed it. And they're starting to understand how important that is. And it's not about slowing it down and not looking for a shot. Like I thought, and Maryland did a great job of denials, so we had to make a lot of adjustments from the beginning of the game, with their denials. They took some of our actions, just like we tried to take some of their actions, and they tried to make us adjust. And the fortunate thing is these guys did, and they adjusted on the fly. So pace of the game, not trying to make something happen, okay, just for the sake of making it happen, taking what's there. And certainly Yogi getting hot and James hot the way they were sometimes at the end of the clock was pretty impressive too. But that's the biggest thing, really understanding the time and score of the game and letting the time and score dictate the pace, not trying to speed it up when we don't need to.
Before you walked off, before you just after the student section, applauding them, why did you make them?
Why not? I turned around and thanked the other people. It was the crowd, the energy was phenomenal. I mean, that's part of Indiana basketball, and it was, we know the value of this crowd. And the young guys are seeing it, okay? I mean, a lot of them were recruited to it, right? So a lot of these guys, we're number one in the country, and the year before, some of these guys were sitting in the crowd, we beat Kentucky, and so they've seen that. Well, now they're feeling that. And I don't think, I would hope I lead the way on this, for being part of this program. What Fred Glass and Scott Dolson and Jeremy Gray and JD and everybody that's a part of making the atmosphere strong, the cheerleaders, the band, that stuff's huge, right? But those people come in with the energy from start to finish, we gotta applaud that. So that's what that is. I mean, we never take that for granted. I've never taken that for granted. You weren't here, but we had great crowds and we were losing a lot of games back in 2008, 2009. And what we did with the crowd support of that, we'd have never got this program turned without that support. So never, ever not thank them.
Tom, is this a fun team that you coach? And when I say that, knowing what was going on in October, that maybe it was the least fun team, at least for that stretch. But has it become now a fun team?
Well, I would answer it this way. I don't look at it that way, and I would say the same thing about October. These players are my responsibility, all right? And I want to see them be successful. They know that, and they're learning that. And I don't put, I wouldn't say fun. I enjoy them. I enjoy watching them grow. I think everybody does. I enjoy watching them interact with each other. We got a lot of season left. That's a question for way down the road. But even when we were not, when things were not good for us, they were never with them every day. We had to help them grow up, and we're still in the midst of that. And no one's sitting here thinking it's utopia, that it's all beautiful. Something could change tonight, right? I mean, you just have to deal with it, and that's all part of helping your guys grow up. So I enjoy that aspect. That to me, watching them grow up, that's fun. The basketball is the basketball, but I enjoy working with these guys every day, and I know our staff does too.
Colin, did you think he could get to this point?
You were on the Colin kick this week, aren't you? You were just on the kick, man. Go ahead, I'm sorry.
You want to write about somebody else?
No, I'm just joking. I'm just joking. That was all your questions yesterday. I'm just joking.
Did you think he could get this far, halfway through his sophomore year?
Hey, you don't think like that. I'm not good at, he's changed, right? I mean, he's growing up, his body's changed, his mindset's changed. There's no question his injury changed. I mean, it made him physically tougher, but it made him mentally tougher, right? I mean, so how it's gonna play out, you never know. Okay, but he's an extremely hard worker. He's been coached right all his life. He's certainly been raised right, by his mom. I mean, she's wonderful. I mean, she's an athlete. I mean, she's been through things, right? I mean, he's a family kid. He just continued to improve. He's got a mindset about winning, and when you have a mindset about winning and work, and I say this every time we talk about him, he's still not a guy that there's still limitations. He won't practice tomorrow. And I mean, we're going to hold him back, right? I mean, so it's one of those things where we've got to continue to monitor that. But he's got a great mindset. He wants to win. He's doing what it takes to win, and he's gaining. Tonight will be a great confidence builder, but it will also turn him up on the next team scouting report. So we'll have to make many more adjustments when we get to Ohio State. But he's continuing to improve, and if he continues to do that, he'll continue to really help us.
Yeah, I mean, the trend in college basketball is less scoring. A lot of teams are scoring 50.
I read that the other day, yeah.
Yeah, and you guys are scoring. But are you trying to go against the grain, or why do you?
I don't look at it like that. We want to play. I mean, I think if I had to look at this, you can never underrate shooting. That's what the game is about, right? But you look at so many things of size and athleticism and the shooting. Well, what makes good shooters? Fundamentals, right? So I mean, if you're really working hard at the fundamentals, you're going to get better at the basket. You're going to use the backboard. You're going to, now Troy's that flip shot. I don't know where that came from. That was crazy. But you know what? We'll see that film, and he followed it with his eyes. He's become such a better finisher. Is he a great shooter yet? No, but he's a better finisher because he works on the fundamentals every day. So it's fun to have guys that really feel confident they're going to make shots, and we've got to continue to build towards that. That's why I like Juwan and OG for next year, because those guys have great size at 6'7" and 6'8", and they can really shoot the ball. And that's what we've got to continue to do. So, are we trying to go against the grain? We're trying to play even faster, and I thought tonight we did a pretty good job of that. And I knew they'd want to come in and play, and because he's doing the same thing. I mean, their spacing's better than ours. I mean, when you from top to bottom, day in and day out, and ours was good tonight, but they really understand how to space, and they cause so many problems with that, so we just want to continue to get better at that. But we got to get better defensively and defensive rebounding wise, so we can continue to get even better offense. Because when we get the break going, then that's fun to watch.
When you assess how your teams respond from losing Devin and Hart and 2 20-point losses, how would you evaluate your team's ability and yourself each time kind of persevere and be resilient for this team?
I don't know. No offense. I don't know. I don't really think like that. It's all about responding from one day to the next. That's the bottom line. So we've been dealing with that's part of it. You're going to deal with injuries. You're going to deal with things that come up. Did we have some things come up? Absolutely. We dealt with them, and we still deal with them. And injuries. So I don't reflect on it like that. I mean, as long as we're all staying focused, and I have to lead the way on that. There's no doubt about that. I mean, that's got to be the key. But as long as you're staying focused, and you come in every day with the real, it sounds corny, but it's how we're running it. Every day, did we do everything we could do to be better that day? And by the end of the night, did we assess what we've got to do better for tomorrow? And that's what we'll do with the film tonight, and that's what we'll do with practice tomorrow. And just try to stay as true to that as possible and see where it leads us.
Okay, thank you, Coach.
All right.